So, okay, here's two things that, again, I don't use. I'll normally just use masks, like different ways to accomplish the same things. But what you can do is you can save a bunch of different selections. So let's do an actual use case for this. Let's say that I wanted to have a selection of just the arm right here. So here we go. I just want the fingers right here. So here we go. Love it. I'm going to go to select, save selection, and then I'm going to type in arm. Looks good. I'm going to do another selection, and this will be just for the face. So here we go. And let's do this, select, save selection. Obviously, I'd go into Refine Edge, do all sorts of things with this. And then do one last one for this hand, select, save selection. Oops. I actually messed up on that other selection. I accidentally had this selected and this selected. I only want the face selected. So I'm going to select, save selection, and I'm going to call it face. And I want to show something. The place where all of these selections are being saved is inside of the channels palette. So if we go into channels, we can see we have arm, we have face, we have another face because I saved two things called face. So if we want to delete one of them, we can just go down here and we can press delete. So it's just being saved as a different channel. And it's interesting to think that the three colors, red, green, and blue, are channels just in the same way that selections are. So right now I have these set as in the colors red, green, and blue, but that's only for demonstration's sake, so it's clear to see what each one's doing. In truth, they're black and white, and then the computer just... I just sped through all of that because I just messed up dealing with channels. It's easy for that to happen. You'll notice it just got into crazy town right there. Basically, all I wanted to do is I just wanted to display the three color channels, but instead I was doing things like displaying these channels too. And it gets into a weird place right there when you're dealing with channels because all of them are just different ways of dealing with black and white information. And the way color is stored is just black and white information. I'm going to go in my preferences palette for a sec. And unchecked show channels as colors, so you can really see how absolutely everything here is basically just a channel. Red's a channel, green's a channel, blue's a channel, and then these selections are equally channels. And it's kind of interesting to think that selections are being saved as the same way, like selections are all masks, which are all channels. You don't need to learn the ins and outs of any of this. But it's just kind of interesting. I just find it fascinating. All right, anyway, so this is saved as a face, and then let's just deselect this right here, and this is all saved as a, what are we doing? Select, save selection. This is going to be hand 2. And now what we can do if we wanted to do something like, say, start painting, we could start loading in selections. So I'm going to load in a selection, and I'm going to load in arm, and I'm going to say OK, and now I'm only able to paint inside of this arm. So here we go. Let me just set my brush on this. I'm going to set it to 5 right here. Yay. And now I'm done painting this arm right here. Now I want to start painting over load selection over the face. So I'm going to go into face. I'm going to say OK. I do not know why that face is looking like that. I must have done something somewhere in the process of this. I'm going to create another layer, and I'm just going to paint over it. So here we go. Lovely. Oh, look at this. And it's just an ability to paint over one section at a time, and you could use selections like that. Now, personally, I find that to be a super convoluted way to work. I know people who have worked in that. I know very, very good artists who work with like a series of 10 or 15 selections that they create at the beginning. The way that I would do it is just have everything inside of my layers palette. So I just create a layer and then put it as a mask and make it so that was the arm, and then have another layer. And here we go. Just going to make this selection right here and create a layer for that. And here we go. That's the arm. And then I just like command click to get these different selections. For me, that makes a lot more sense. If I really wanted to organize it, I could put it in a folder called selections, and then rather going all the way into select, load selection, arm, face, hand 2, all of that, I just do something where each of these were its own selection, and, you know, call this arm, call this one hand too. I just want to demonstrate that there's different ways of accomplishing exactly the same thing. And it's just a matter of what's simple versus what's easy versus what makes sense to you. And I hope that to some degree made sense to you. So that's load selection and save selection.